We have been waiting. The moment is here. The SEC has officially approved those Bitcoin ETFs. We don't have word on exactly which companies, if this is all of them, but according to the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission Twitter account, they have a statement out. They say today the SEC grants approval for Bitcoin ETFs for listing on all registered national securities exchanges. The approved Bitcoin ETFs will be subject to ongoing surveillance and compliance measures to ensure continued investor protection. Statement here from Chair of the SEC, Gary Gensler. He says today's approval enhances market transparency and provides investors with efficient access to digital asset investments within a regulated framework. There are 13 applications out there. Again, it appears as though multiple ETFs have been approved. We'll get you word on the final count, but it appears here, based on that statement, that it's all systems go for those Bitcoin ETFs listing on U.S. exchanges. But this has been a long-awaited moment for Bitcoin investors, for that market that's seen as really this milestone and legitimizing moment for this volatile asset class. But big moment here, Morgan. Back over to you.
But Gary Gensler's Twitter account, I suppose, has not been hacked, so far as we know. The part to me that's weirdest about this, A, we're in a time when we expected the news to come through this account, but then we're hearing about the hack through the same platform where they apparently were hacked. Is there any kind of a press conference or statement outside of X that we can expect to hear on this?
Yes. So I should clarify, John, the statement that we got from the SEC was from an emailed SEC spokesperson here. So we have an emailed statement from the SEC clarifying what's going on Twitter and X. Although, again, Gary Gensler's account retweeting that and putting out a similar statement that, yes, that account has been hacked. But taking things away from X and Twitter for a second, we do have an official statement from a verified SEC spokesperson here over email that says,
"It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened."
We have not made a decision yet.
Okay, and so I'm just going to reiterate it one more time. It would appear that X has been hacked, that the U.S. government, the SEC, has not been hacked,
Right.
which in of itself would have been quite interesting, since the SEC is also regulating all of these cybersecurity issues and hacks for public or private sector as well right now. But bottom line, this is not true. We don't have this.
It never happened. It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened.
So the SEC posts that today they granted the Bitcoin ETF for all listing on registered national securities exchanges. And then quoting Gary Gensler, they even made a picture for this as well too. And then the price shoots all the way up here of $47,000. Then Gary Gensler tweets, the SEC Gov Twitter account was compromised. An unauthorized tweet was posted. The SEC has not approved the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin exchange traded products. So, it's not approved, it's not denied, it's still in limbo. And this is hilarious, guys. Look at the comments on Gary Gensler's post. This guy says, "I'm out. I listened to the SEC on Twitter and market longed at 50x leverage on BitMEX yesterday. Now he's liquidated again. He's done with crypto for good. He's never depositing another $1,000 on BitMEX and calling it a scam." Now, very interesting how when you look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, in my last video, while I was recording it, the news popped out while I was uploading the video and putting that out there. So I'm putting this one out at the same day so you guys know what's going on. But very interesting on the liquidation heat maps. I talked about where the most leverage was to the upside and to the downside, and they liquidated both in both directions. And so I don't think their account was hacked. I think this was planned, whether it was an intern inside the SEC, whether it was actually hacked, or whether it was this guy right here, BitBoy Crypto, storming the SEC, taking matters into his own hands. We're going to find out here very, very soon, but this wick all the way up of $48,000 liquidated, millions and millions of dollars of leverage, and then to the downside liquidated millions and millions of dollars of leverage. So it wiped the leverage off the table. And the SEC Gov insider said to Bloomberg just now, unfortunately, the spot Bitcoin ETF must be delayed because of the hack on the SEC account on X.com, and they must investigate who hacked it internally. So the SEC is going to investigate the SEC about market manipulation, and here's a picture of them investigating, pointing the finger at each other, saying that no, it was Gary hacking Gary's account. And then Brad Garlinghouse posted saying, days like this remind me that number one, the SEC should be investigating itself for multiple things. Number two, crypto Twitter remains undefeated in memes. And so we're just going through Twitter, seeing what's going on here. And the SEC posted this. Actually, David Joel Katz from Ripple posted this saying, careful what you read on the internet. The best source of information about the SEC is the SEC, being posted from the SEC. And then shortly after that, the SEC says that they were hacked. So can the SEC even trust the SEC anymore? And we told them that our Twitter was hacked, as behind the scenes, they're laughing, you know, all these exchanges, all these elite laughing as they liquidate all the retail leverage traders and they buy the dip and they back up the truck. And so when in doubt, zoom out, guys. You know, this is part of the disbelief rally. People are in disbelief. Is the ETF being approved? Is it not being approved? Is it denied? Is it delayed? It's all disbelief. Is this really happening? Is crypto going to be adopted by institutions? Yes, but during disbelief, it takes time. In my previous video, I talked about how long it took. It was like 100+ days in the disbelief rally, where we broke out from the 2019 high, came back to back test this range, then pushed into hope, optimism, belief, thrill, and euphoria. And even off of that disbelief low, I mean, it took over 400+ days before we got to the actual all-time high. So right here, you know, with this sell-off taking place, even if we push down further, let's say they delay it like a couple weeks and we just see the market sell off to $600 billion somewhere down here. Well, what would 400 days push us into? You know, that pushes us into 2025. So just relax. I know this news gets you guys excited. I know it's kind of funny watching this type of stuff, but it's frustrating at the same time too, because you're playing with people's money here, Gary. All right, Gary Gensler, you're playing with people's money. You're liquidating Bobby off of BitMEX over here, and you know, getting the shorts and the longs out the market. So to the upside, how this works is you see people placing limit short with leverage, and that leverage could be 10x, 50x, 200x. And so when they place this limit short right here and the price hits it, it fills the order. But if the price pushes past it and hits their stop loss, because the larger the leverage, the tighter the margins. And so if it pushes past their stop loss, they all get liquidated. And so all the exchanges have to do is look at the heat maps or look at their own data and see where there's gaps in the leverage to know where to push the price to. And they can put in a certain amount of money or they can sell out a certain amount of money because they hold hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. And so they can put those buy orders at any point that they want to be able to push it past everyone's stop losses. And then they just run some type of calculation to figure out how much money they'll make on that. And so interesting how, you know, the SEC posted that they were hacked. And then shortly after that, they posted that they were hacked. Well, they said the SEC posted that it was approved. Then shortly after that, they said they were hacked. So how did they get their account back that quick? Something doesn't smell right over at the SEC, and we're about to figure it out here soon. So we're backing up our truck to the bank either way, grabbing the bags, packing them and stacking them, leaving no bags left behind because the spending power of the dollar keeps going down in value, and we're buying grandma's house back. We're buying the whole block back. When you take the putter, you grab the like button and you tap it in, you give it a tippity taparoo, you sink the putt, you do it for grandma because we're beating the SEC. The SEC is beating the SEC, and we're buying grandma's house back with XRP. So I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll see you on bullrunners.com, where you'll discover our top altcoin picks and get early bird access to our financial education platform. Click the button, put in your best email address, and as always, stay bullish.